Let's use TAW. It's easier than pi. You know, I have a love of mathematics, and there actually is some mathematical theory, and Pat will have URLs. So let's use TAW. It's easier than pi. It's a more accurate way to calculate the circumference of a circle. If you remember from pi, remember back there in high school, pi r squared was the formula. And my dear departed father will make a quick quote from him. Every time you said pi r squared, my father would go, pi aren't square, pi are round. That's the joke of the day. All right. Real quick, and we'll do a little bit more in a minute, but remember, and I'm going to talk about it. Pat just put it up. There will be no session next week, no session on July 4th. GetSetUp is actually shut down between July 1st and July 4th. GetSetUp will be closed for business that period. With a transition going on, we will come back in 2 weeks on July 11th, but we will be in the GetSetUp club, in the club. And with that, top of my list, even before we get to what's on your mind to discuss, we want to take a moment, and everybody, please, and you can even put a note in chat, this will be our last session with our famous, the best TA in all of GetSetUp, James Smith. James has been with us all of these sessions. Pat and I rely on James. He puts up URLs. He takes care of the class notes. He watched the live stream chat. James is there helping us make sure we run this. You know, it takes more than just Pat and I to put on GetSetUp. We're going to venture into the club in 2 weeks. We're going to see how it goes, but we know it's not going to be as easy without James. If you're on a class in the future and you see that James is a TA, give him a little wave, tell him thank you so much for all of the help that James has been. We're gonna see if we can pilot this ship without our navigator, but it's gonna be tough. Thank you so much, James. Thank you, thank you, thank you. With that, before we get to the things on the list here, how's everybody doing? How's your week been? What's going on? Anything on the top of the list other than we certainly throw lots of prayers out to Shirley in Calgary to get out of the hospital and get to her wedding, you know?
I just found out today I can borrow the wheelchair from here. It is going to fit through my condo door. I'm going to take a cab on Friday morning from the hospital home, and I will be able to get home the morning of the wedding, get my hair done, my dress on, and and we will have a wedding at 3:00.
Wonderful, Shirley. We're gonna, you know, from My Fair Lady, we're gonna sing that great song, I'm Getting Married in the Morning. We'll be singing that for you. Wonderful.
I'm going to videotape it so everybody can see. It'll be on either on Facebook or YouTube.
Wonderful. We'll look forward to seeing that. And with that, let's see, from James, just wanted to check this out. Thanks for letting me sit in. Oh, John, yes. John, good, welcome. And new, we're glad you're joining us. We welcome folks new and our regular crowd, and you know, you're now part of our people, right, Amy? Everybody's part of our people. Amy has that famous quote.
Yep, you're all my people.
Very good. I'll start out with one thing for just quick discussion from the week, but just an update because we've talked about it before. Pat and I did go back to my spine surgeon this week, and I did confess to him that he had not given him an accurate level of my pain, and he agreed, and Pat and I, and we all agreed, let's do the surgery. So he taps his little computer, and then he looks and he goes, wait a minute. I go, what do you mean, wait a minute? He says, well, your health plan says before I can operate on you, you have to do 3 weeks of physical therapy 3 days a week. Really? I got 3 vertebrae that are bad and they're going to send me to physical therapy. So called physical therapy, made the appointment. Within an hour, the physical therapist called me and goes, Mr. Hewitt, I have a right up here that you're going to come in 3 days a week for 3 weeks for physical therapy. And I go, yeah. And he says, I just looked at your MRI and your CAT scan. He says, I'm not touching you. I said, what? And he goes, no. He says, I'll tell you what, and I explained to him that was a requirement of the healthcare provider. He said, I'll tell you what. He says, you bring your coffee mug and a book because you're going to check in. I'll tap you on the shoulder. We'll call it physical therapy and you go sit in the corner. So welcome to our healthcare system. You know, Shirley's got a lot different system up there, but so another delay in the surgery. I got to go set at the physical therapy.
Going round and round and round, let me tell
Read my
you.
book. So, you know, stand by. Well, who knows when we'll be doing the surgery. It's a mystery. Anything else going on this week? What else have people had happen before we get to topics that we got in front of us? Oh, Linda, you got
This is Linda. I'd like to ask you a question.
Yes, Linda.
Do you have I have a problem with a callus on my left foot. Is that normal for diabetes?
Unfortunately,
it's like on the heel in the middle of my foot.
Yep, that is typical, Linda, and I can't urge you enough. Please, Linda, tomorrow morning, call your podiatrist. You can't react quick enough. If you have any kind of foot problems and you're diabetic, please don't ignore it.
Okay.
Please don't ignore it. I know way too many people with diabetes, some very good friends who had, you know, blisters, small infection or whatever. They said, oh, it'll go away. Us folks with diabetes, Linda, are a whole different crowd.
Okay.
Check it out with your podiatrist as quick as you can, please.
Okay, I have to find one. I don't know if you know, I live in Guam, so I have.
I know.
Podiatrist.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. We talk about how far we reach. Look at this tonight. We're in Calgary, Alberta. We're in Guam. We're all over these wonderful United States. I mean, we're a crowd that goes far and wide. And you know, Amy, your people go multiple continents. Isn't it wonderful? But yeah,
I got a question for you, Dick.
Yes, Quentin.
This week, and I didn't feel bad or anything, but I had a couple low readings, but I never felt weak or anything like that. Is that a normal pattern, or what is lacking there? That now I've built it back up, but you know, I just wasn't used to getting down, you know, like around 50 and 60.
Lows happen, Quentin. It's not unusual. I'm glad you recognized it. That's somewhat unusual that if you're around 50 or 60 that you weren't feeling some of the effects of it. I know when I get below 60, I certainly start to feel it physically. If I get below 50, I really feel it physically. I had 3 different instances this week where I got low. My new Freestyle Libre 2 sends off alarms on my phone and Pat's phone both. I can't get away with it anymore. Pat's phone starts lighting up. But I generally, with highs, I don't generally feel some of the physical effects, but with lows, I certainly do. I'm glad you recognized it. We've talked before about some of the simple solutions, particularly around 50 or 60. And you know, Quentin, we've talked about it before, is you know, the glucose tablets, certainly. You know, some of the other tricks we've got, you know, and this is, you know, we always think of our friends in Canada, maple syrup. We always keep some maple syrup handy. A regular soda, I hardly ever recommend regular soda, but a regular soda. The other thing I keep is juice, apple juice, orange juice. Those are good. You've all heard us talk before. My unapproved one that Pat doesn't necessarily like is my Tootsie Roll Pop. She goes, that doesn't do any good.